Now on CoastTV News.
Budget battle continues. The latest on Capitol Hill as lawmakers return and Democrats protest an upcoming budget reconciliation bill. Extra Security will show you all of the safety measures in place for this year's Cruisin Ocean City event. Monument placement debate talks in Georgetown to move a fallen patrolman's memorial out of the circle, but why the family is not totally on board.
A chilly start to the week for Delmarva. 40s and 50s out the door, even some upper 30s. Bundle up. Otherwise, a milder afternoon with sunshine, and we're looking at a drier week ahead with small rain chances. Details coming up.
This is CoastTV News Today.
Good morning, I'm Elisa Weber. Matt Pensick has the day off. Thank you for joining us for our 6 o'clock hour on this Monday morning. Hope everyone had a wonderful weekend. And we're going to bring in First Alert meteorologist Bob Trahey to tell us about our weather because, Bob, it's cooler out this morning, but he said it's going to be beautiful later.
Oh, it is going to be a beautiful Monday, Elise. We just have to get past this chilly morning. In fact, cold. Some places bordering on frosty. Look at the upper 30s all over the place. Harrington, Redden, Bridgeville in the upper 30s, 39 at Dagsboro, 40 in Millsboro, but upper 30s from Salisbury to Delmar and Ocean Pines. It is a cold start. Lower 40s elsewhere. At the beaches, a little milder, 51 in Ocean City. Lewis now 56 and Rehoboth at 52. So leave extra time and bundle up and make sure you warm up the car. Kids are going back to school, so make sure they're bundled up too. As we're looking at light winds, clear skies, good visibility, dry roads. We have high pressure building in, so we have this northwesterly flow, and that's why it's so cold. And high pressure back to the west will ensure us of beautiful sunshine and really nice conditions as we go through the day. It's just a cold start, but then we'll see those temperatures rising through the 40s into the 50s by mid-morning, upper 50s away from the coast. So we're taking the chill out of the air with full sunshine by the noon hour, upper 60s, close to 70 away from the coast. But we are going to see an onshore breeze, a sea breeze at the beaches. So that's going to keep you in the 50s and 60s, I think, through much of the afternoon. 69 in Lewis, but inland, lower 70s around Millsboro, lower 70s, maybe mid 70s, a little farther inland, and our conditions pretty pleasant for this evening. So if you're taking a stroll on the boardwalk in Bethany Beach, looking good. Make sure you bundle up, but light winds today out of the north and northwest. Lots of sunshine starting out in the 40s, but then by late morning into the mid 60s and mid 60s into the afternoon with the sea breeze.
Sounds good, Bob. And we are now taking a live look at Washington, D.C. on this Monday morning. Our top story this half hour, tensions are high on Capitol Hill as lawmakers prepare to return for a 2-week recess today. On Sunday, House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries and Senator Cory Booker hosted dozens of supporters at the Capitol, sitting on the steps in protest of Republicans' upcoming budget reconciliation bill. They, along with fellow Democratic leaders, faith leaders, and dozens of rank-and-file supporters, sat in the sunshine for over 9 hours, speaking about the upcoming budget fight. And all of this as President Trump is back in the U.S. after Pope Francis' funeral over the weekend. Tuesday marks 100 days in office for the president. Trump met with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky in Rome. NBC's Bianca Bushii shows us the latest as deportations and court rulings continue to dominate headlines.
President Trump back stateside after the funeral for Pope Francis in Italy over the weekend. Trump had a behind-the-scenes meeting in Rome with Ukraine President Volodymyr Zelensky that both described as positive.
We want to continue such meetings to bring peace to Ukraine.
In photos released by the Ukrainian government, the two are seen talking closely, as well as speaking with other leaders from the UK and France. It's a noted change from their last in-person meeting at the White House in February, which ended with Trump calling Zelensky ungrateful. The president will hit the road again Tuesday, hosting a rally in Macomb, Michigan, while deportations and court rulings continue to dominate the headlines. Meanwhile, Tuesday marks 100 days in office for Trump, whose approval rating is sinking. An NBC News Stay Tuned poll shows 55% of Americans disapprove of the way he's handling the White House. He's being hit especially hard on his economic policy, with 61% disapproving of his tariff plan.
It's all coming down. It's all looking good. The tariffs are strong.
The numbers come as stock market turmoil and recession fears plague anxious consumers, already wary of inflation. In Washington, Bianca Fascini, NBC News.
President Trump is expected to mention easing inflation during his rally in Michigan on Tuesday, though the latest consumer price index shows it remains virtually unchanged from the start of the year. And this just in, on Thursday, Ocean City will be holding its annual 35th annual Cruisin Ocean City event, with thousands of fancy cars and even more people making their way to the town. A special event zone will be in place from April 29th to May 4th. All speed limits in Ocean City will be 30 miles or less, and you'll see more cops than usual. And if you do end up getting pulled over, those fines will be bigger. Ashley Miller, the Deputy Communications Manager for the Ocean City Police Department, says these rules have made a difference.
We still see the violations, but we are not seeing them to the same magnitude that we were back in 2020.
Whether you agree with the changes or not, the rules will be enforced, so keep your foot off the pedal or you might be a little lighter in the wallet. And happening today, an upgrade for the Food Bank of Delaware in Milford. The organization will introduce a new food digester. The equipment can remove up to 500 pounds of food waste from a landfill each day. The food digester uses a natural process to break down food waste, and according to the Food Bank of Delaware, since being installed, the food bank has redirected almost 6,000 pounds of food from a landfill. And things to know, more emergency services in Sussex County. Today, Millsboro will hold a grand opening for the Sussex County Emergency Medical Services Station 103. The new location sits on Dickerson Road, and officials say that ceremony will be followed by a lunch, and people can attend that event today at 11 a.m. In Milford, city officials are considering an ordinance that would allow workers to stay home. The ordinance says that during emergency conditions, non-essential and essential workers can work from home. This includes events such as severe weather. This potential change comes after city officials say its code is outdated, and this ordinance will be discussed at tonight's council meeting at 6 p.m. In Georgetown, the idea of potentially moving fallen patrolman Chad Spicer's memorial to another location could be discussed today. This at the council meeting, and that memorial still hasn't been replaced since it was hit by a car back in 2023. Georgetown Mayor Bill West says there are no official plans to move the monument, but there are talks about constructing a memorial at the new police station. However, Chad Spicer's family says they want to see that monument remain at the circle. Spicer was shot and killed in 2009 while trying to stop a car involved in a separate shooting.
That was a very tragic night, very tragic, and it was so horrible. And I don't want people to forget his legacy on what he was trying to do.
While the memorial move is not on the agenda, neighbors are expected to speak out during the public comment period at the council meeting tonight at 6:45. And on your screen now are fire companies honoring Thomas Berry III over the weekend. Berry was a volunteer firefighter with the Georgetown Fire Company and the Ellendale Fire Company. He died when a utility pole snapped, bringing down electrical wires while he was trying to help a driver who had crashed. The Ellendale Fire Company dedicated Engine 2 to Berry, and there is also a bench in honor of him. And we still have a lot more news to get to this morning on Coast TV News today. Coming up, Canal Canvas will tell you what updates you can expect from the waterways today in South Bethany. And Springfest success will tell you how business owners and employees are reacting to the turnout from this year's annual festival. In Milford, major water infrastructure will tell you what locals decided in terms of a referendum to borrow over $8 million. All that and more as Coast TV News Today continues.
Just about 6:11 on our Monday morning and a gorgeous sunrise in progress. So look at this shot. Looking over Delaware Bay on the tunnel and razor cam, clear skies, got some birds flying around, a beautiful start, but it is cold out there. We've got upper 30s and lower 40s inland areas and almost cold enough for frost. Places like Harrington and Red, but not quite, but it is cold. And now that the sun's coming up, this is probably the low temperatures for the day. At the beaches, we're in the 40s and 50s. Winds are calm as we have high pressure overhead. As you just saw in that live camera, skies are clear. We're clear all across Delmarva, the mid-Atlantic region, as high pressure is building in, and that will ensure a beautiful day with wall-to-wall sunshine. I think it's a no-brainer. What size coffee this morning? I know I always go extra large with a little bit of cream in there, but it's cold. It's in the 30s and 40s, so grab that big coffee. A cold start, but a mild end. Lots of sunshine and a high of 74.
You need an extra large coffee on a Monday morning, Bob. Well, voters in Milford have approved a major water infrastructure proposal in the city's referendum. That plan allows the city to borrow up to $8.5 million for water system improvements in the Northwest service area. Unofficial results posted by the city show 133 voters in favor and 21 against. Today, the City Board of Elections will certify those results and submit them to the state. And happening today in Lewis, 2 items are up for consideration at a public hearing. According to the agenda, officials will discuss a request regarding piping at the Carriage House at Cape Henlopen. Also on the agenda, a proposed ordinance that would control the height of grass and other plants in people's yards. These issues are up for consideration at tonight's meeting at the Rollins Center at 5:30. Also happening today in Bridgeville, officials will gather to discuss the town's budget for fiscal year 2026. That's according to the agenda. Also up for discussion and update on a draft comprehensive plan. This takes place tonight at 5 p.m. at the Bridgeville Library. And happening today, Salisbury will host a budget workshop for locals to learn more about fiscal year 2026. According to officials, there will be a discussion on the budget as well as an overview of the fee schedule. This is set to take place tonight at 5:30 and will be located at the government office building. A federal judge on Friday blocked the Trump administration's attempt to strip the most important power of unions. District Court Judge Paul Friedman issued a preliminary injunction against an executive order to strip collective bargaining rights from federal workers whose jobs include national security aspects. Collective bargaining is what gives labor unions the authority to negotiate working conditions for its members. Without it, unions are almost entirely powerless. Fans of Joann's stores will be disappointed to learn nearly 1/3 of the fabric and craft retailers' locations will close this week, and the remaining stores will shut down next month. The company filed for bankruptcy last January, and it was Joann's second bankruptcy filing in 11 months. The chain began going out of sale businesses, and those sales will end at the 255 locations around the country closing this week. More than 500 remaining stores will shut down next month. The time is now 6:16, and we are taking a live look outside at Milford this morning. And Bob, it's a chillier morning, but we see that sun starting to rise. And you said later temperatures are also going to rise, so that is good news.
Yeah, you know, it is almost feeling like late winter a little bit out there this morning, Elisa, with some temperatures, inland areas into the upper 30s. Don't see any frost this morning because the sun is on the rise now. You have to see temperatures 36 or lower. And with that dry air, it starts out very chilly, and then it warms very nicely. A mild Monday afternoon, sensational with wall-to-wall sunshine, highs into the mid-70s after starting out in 30s and 40s. And then midweek, upper 70s and low 80s, summer-like with more clouds and maybe a few shower chances. But look at these temperatures: 38 Harrington, 39 Bridgeville, 37 in Redden. Then we have upper 30s in Millsboro, back to Delmarva, Salisbury, Willard. So it is really chilly, but once again, not quite cold enough for frost. Elsewhere, we're in the lower 40s inland areas, 51 in Ocean City with 55 in Lewis, and Rehoboth right now at 52 with Bethany Beach at 48 degrees. As there's a light breeze out of the northwest, and now that the sun is coming up, then we will start to warm things up. But it's definitely a chilly start with clear skies all across Delmarva right now, and we're not alone. Also clear skies to the mid-Atlantic, through the Carolinas, up into the northeast as well, as we have high pressure building in from the north and west. Just a few clouds across Pennsylvania and the Great Lakes. Otherwise, we're looking at beautiful conditions, so we're expecting wall-to-wall sunshine. Farther to the west, we're seeing low pressure and severe weather across the northern plains. That's where the rough weather is today. They could be looking at severe weather and possible tornadoes from Minnesota into Wisconsin. So this is the severe weather. That's not coming our way. We're looking pretty quiet the next couple of days. Futurecast this morning: leave extra time to warm up the car, get the kids out to school, and make sure they're bundled up with temperatures in the 30s and 40s. 7 a.m. mid to upper 40s, and then quickly into the upper 50s by 9 a.m. with mid to upper 50s at the coast, even 60 around Rehoboth. By the noon hour, upper 60s well inland, even along 113 from Ellendale down to Selbyville, you're in the upper 60s, but at the beaches, we're into the 50s and lower 60s. We're going to have a sea breeze here developing this afternoon, so that will keep you cooler, upper 50s to 60s, around 63 in Rehoboth, lower 70s from Millsboro back towards Salisbury, and then cooling off as we go through this evening. And we have clear skies overnight and light winds. It'll be another chilly night, but not nearly as cold as this morning. About 8 to 10 degrees warmer tomorrow morning, with upper 40s away from the coast and low to mid 50s at the beaches. And then as we go through the day, we'll start to see a southwest wind kicking in by noon, mid 70s inland, cooler at the beaches, and then getting windy at the coast into Tuesday evening with 60s and 70s here, upper 70s from Millsboro back to Delmarva and Salisbury, and then pretty mild into Tuesday evening with a southwesterly breeze. We'll see clouds increasing and a little disturbance could kick off a few showers very early Wednesday morning. Otherwise, a mild start with 60s, and then we're quickly warming through the 70s, then into the lower 80s by mid-afternoon, maybe 82 around Salisbury, 81 in Selbyville, 80 in Berlin, and cooler 60s and 70s at coastal locations. We're looking at a bit of a sea breeze this afternoon, and that will keep you cooler at the beaches. That sea breeze tries to work inland, then kind of runs out of steam around the 113 corridor. Then we'll see those winds picking up out of the southwest. They get pretty gusty as we go into Tuesday afternoon, gusting over 25 miles per hour. So we'll have that summer-like feel the middle part of the week with high pressure sliding offshore and a cold front, and we're ahead of that cold front, so it'll be mild to warm as we head into the middle of the week. Paul Davis, 7-day forecast, 74, lots of sunshine today, down to 47 tonight into tomorrow morning, the last really chilly morning for a few days. 79 Tuesday, mostly sunny, 82 Wednesday with a mix of sun and clouds, a little cooler Thursday into the mid-70s, back into the low 80s with a better chance of showers Friday, maybe lingering into Saturday. It does cool off into the weekend, 75, a few showers Saturday, then into the 40s for lows into Sunday, Monday morning, and then 69 on Sunday under mostly sunny skies.
Thank you, Bob. Ocean City's annual Spring Fest has now come and gone, but the event brought thousands of people along the coast, and with that came big revenue for vendors. Also, with big crowds came little to no parking, but fully booked hotel rooms, which overall means more revenue for the entire town.
We have a bar and grill that made complete great revenue. I mean, they were so busy over there. So we've been really booked.
And if you missed one of Ocean City's big events, don't worry, because on Thursday, May 1st, that will be the start of Ocean City Cruising. And Springfest wasn't all positive, unfortunately. On your screen now is a picture of a woman that the Ocean City Police Department says stole a piece of art over the weekend. If you recognize this person, Ocean City Police are asking you to contact authorities immediately. And more to come this morning on CoastTV News Today. Canals Canvas will tell you what officials in South Bethany are expected to discuss as conditions in those waterways take center stage. Don't go anywhere.
Download the free CoastTV First Alert Weather app today.
Coaches make a difference for their athletes and communities, and we want to honor them.
Each month, the Preston Automotive Group will select a coach who makes a difference and donate $500 to their organization. Then at the end of the year, 3 of these coaches will receive an additional donation to their program.
The coach can be from any sport at any level, up to and including high school.
Nominate your coach today at DelmarvaSportsNetwork.com.
Delmarva Sports Network's Coach Who Makes a Difference. Sponsored by Preston Automotive Group.
Are you suffering from hair loss? Maybe you need to cut a few pounds. Ready to start dating again? Well, here at East Coast Plumbing, Heating and Air, we can help you with none of that.
But what we can help you with is plumbing repairs, drain cleaning, tub and showers, water heaters, air conditioning, heat pumps, gas furnaces, and sewer and water main replacements. Stop dealing with chamois that don't work and call Delmarva's top service provider.
East Coast Plumbing, Heating and Air.
Or find us online at eastcoastplumbing247.com. Forget about it.
18 years ago, we founded Community Bank Delaware with the goal of providing high-quality banking services to our local community. Here you meet with decision makers, people just like you who live in and love this community. We provide the newest banking technologies to our customers, supported by our local team of banking professionals. Our bank serves clients throughout Sussex County, and we continue to grow, all thanks to you. Community Bank Delaware, where community matters.
Is your cookware scratched inside and an eyesore on the outside? Introducing Gotham Steel Hammered Cream Cookware. Forged with an authentic hammered design, engineered with extremely strong titanium and tri-coated with ultra non-stick ceramic. Gotham Steel features double the non-stick release. Now you can cook healthier without all the butter or oil. Get this huge 15-piece set for 4 payments of $49.99 with free shipping.
To order, call 1-800-513-6408.
Leaders in Fenwick Island voted to increase paid parking rates by $1. Starting on May 15th, the hourly parking rate will be $4 an hour. That extra revenue would pay for street maintenance and a new parking officer. The homeowners and tourists have mixed opinions about this incoming price hike.
I think it's a very, very modest raise that I am certainly, as a homeowner, I'm in favor of it.
It's, you know, it really would be nice to not have to pay to park when you go to pay for a meal or you're paying to go shopping.
Fenwick Island's paid parking season begins on May 15th. And thanks to no water quality is center stage in Bethany Beach. Today, officials will gather to discuss conditions of its canals. According to the agenda, there will be an update on cleaning, algae harvesting, grant funding, and possible new water treatment options. All of this takes place today at Town Hall at 10 a.m. And Bob, you and I both said we had to grab heavier jackets this morning, so if you're headed to the beach today, definitely just don't wear your short sleeve t-shirt. You probably want to grab another jacket.
Definitely. You know, I put my puffy jacket away deep in the closet thinking that I didn't need it again this winter. Well, it's not winter anymore, this spring. And voila, I needed it this morning with temperatures in the 30s and 40s out the door. We've got upper 40s out the door in Assateague and Chincoteague this morning. Lots of sunshine. Lower 60s in Assateague for highs. I think we could get into the mid 60s in Chincoteague. Then we see a sea breeze kick in with falling temperatures later on. Fenwick Island and Ocean City, lots of sunshine for you. A chilly start in the 40s. Then we're into the 60s, but then that wind kicks in off the ocean and cooling down into the evening hours. On the bay side, the next 3 days, mid 70s today in Cambridge, close to 80 Tuesday. I think we're into the lower 80s Wednesday. And Crisfield, beautiful weather for you, a little cooler, near 70 today, then mid 70s Tuesday, upper 70s on Wednesday. A few more clouds, some shower chances. Nothing significant as far as the rain goes, but temperatures definitely warming up this week. I'll have much more on your forecast coming up in the next half hour.
After the break on CoastTV News today, DelDOT Project Progress will tell you what DelDOT says is the focus of multiple projects, including work at the 5 Points intersection in Lewis. An extra security is in place for this year's Cruisin Ocean City event. And federal budget backlash will tell you how lawmakers are gearing up to push back on proposed budget as leaders return for a recess this morning. CoastTV News today. We'll be right back.
Now on CoastTV News.
Budget battle continues. The latest on Capitol Hill as lawmakers return and Democrats protest an upcoming budget reconciliation bill. Extra security will show you all of the safety measures in place for this year's Cruisin Ocean City event. Monument placement debate talks in Georgetown to move a fallen patrolman's memorial out of the circle, but why the family is not totally on board.
A chilly start to the week for Delmarva. 40s and 50s out the door, even some upper 30s. Bundle up. Otherwise, a milder afternoon with sunshine, and we're looking at a drier week ahead with small rain chances. Details coming up.
This is CoastTV News Today.
Good morning, I'm Elisa Weber. Matt Pensick has the day off. It is 6:29 on this Monday morning. And First Alert meteorologist Bob Trahey is going to join us. Bob, it is cooler out this morning. People might be confused if it's April.
Absolutely, Elisa. It's feeling more like March, probably, with temperatures into the upper 30s in a lot of places. Almost frosty. I think you have to get to 36 and below to see frost, but really close to that. Harrington and Redden at 37, Millsboro 39. We've got upper 30s from Salisbury to Delmar and Willard. So bundle up, warm up the car, break out the heavier jacket this morning. 40 in Laurel, a little milder at the beaches. 52 Rehoboth right now, Lewis at 56. Winds are calm, just a light breeze. Thankfully, not strong winds, or we'd be talking wind chills, but we're not doing that. It's light winds. It's clear skies all across Delmarva right now and all across across the Mid-Atlantic and Northeast as we have high pressure building in, and that will ensure us of lots of sunshine today, light winds, and it's a cold start, but with dry air, it'll warm up quickly into this afternoon as we're warming through the 40s slowly through 7 a.m. And then it's upper 50s by 9 as we're getting the chill out of the air. 60 around Long Neck, 58 in Ellendale by noon, upper 60s close to 70 away from the coast, 50s and 60s at the beaches. I think we will see a sea breeze kicking in a little bit at the coast, so that will keep you in the 50s and 60s here. But inland, 71 Millsboro, maybe up to about 73 in Delmarva and Salisbury with a pleasant evening on the way. And it's back to school for everybody. Yes, even the kiddos in Sussex County. So back to work, off to school, lots of sunshine. Make sure you bundle up. Still looking at upper 30s and lower 40s, but heading home, lots of sunshine and much warmer with a temperature of 72.
Thank you, Bob. In our top story this half hour, tensions are high on Capitol Hill as lawmakers prepare to return for a 2-week recess today. On Sunday, House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries and Senator Cory Booker hosted dozens of supporters at the Capitol, sitting on the steps in protest of Republicans' upcoming budget reconciliation bill. They, along with fellow Democratic leaders, faith leaders, and dozens of rank-and-file supporters, sat in the sunshine for over 9 hours speaking about the upcoming budget fight. And on Thursday, Ocean City will host its 35th annual Cruisin Ocean City event. But thousands of people in fancy cars will be coming to the area, and this means a special event zone will be in place. CoastTV News reporter Kevin Zappe shows us this means slower speed limits and increased fines.
Revving engines and fancy cars, a staple of Cruisin Ocean City, which draws people from all over the country to this coastal town. But as Ashley Miller, the Deputy Communications Manager for the Ocean City Police Department explains, some people have a hard time playing by the rules.
You were seeing cars doing burnouts in the intersections and just stopping traffic and gathering the large crowds.
That's why back in 2018, the town started lowering speed limits for this type of event. And in 2020, they started increasing fines and even threatening arrests for reckless driving, depending on the offense. Miller says it's made a difference.
We still see the violations, but we are not seeing them to the same magnitude that we were back in 2020.
So what can you expect from this year's Special Zone event? From April 29th to May 4th, all speed limits in Ocean City will be 30 miles an hour or lower. You'll see more cops than usual, and if you do end up getting pulled over, the fines will be bigger. Local Stephen Powell thinks these rules are too strict.
I'm okay with lowering the speed limit, but to 35 from 40, not 30. It's too slow. And I think the fines are already too high. They should be reduced.
Whether you agree with the changes or not, the rules will be enforced. So keep your foot off the pedal or you might be a lot lighter in the wallet.
Speeding tickets aren't the only thing increasing during the Cruisin Ocean City event. Parking prices are going up too. They'll be increasing by an extra $1.50 during the event, so be sure to bring a little extra cash before parking. I'm Kevin Zappe in Ocean City, CoastTV News.
Happening today, DelDOT will once again gather to share updates on their plans to improve intersections and highways in Sussex County. This includes work on the 5 Points project in Lewis. That project looks to improve the flow of traffic with lights, make the roads more accessible for bikers and pedestrians, and consider the possibility of roundabouts. One person we spoke with says he stays far away from busy intersections.
Live back on Robinsonville and Cedar Grove, and to get back there, sometimes the lights are very long, so I get down and go in through Lowe's that way. So I try to, basically avoid that area.
DelDOT tells CoastTV there's no set timeline for any of these projects. People can attend tonight's public meeting at 6 p.m. at Cape Henlopen High School. And in Georgetown, the idea of potentially moving fallen patrolman Chad Spicer's memorial to another location could be discussed today. That memorial still hasn't been replaced since it was hit by a car back in 2023. Georgetown Mayor Bill West says there are no official plans yet to move the monument, but there have been talks about constructing a memorial at the new police station. However, Chad Spicer's family says they want to see that memorial remain at the Circle. Spicer was shot and killed in 2009 while trying to stop a car involved in a separate shooting. While the memorial move is not on the agenda, neighbors are expected to speak out during the public comment period at tonight's council meeting at 6:45. On your screen now are fire companies honoring Thomas Berry III over the weekend. Berry was a volunteer firefighter with Georgetown and Ellendale Fire Companies. He died when a utility pole snapped, bringing down electrical wires while he was helping a driver who had crashed. The Allendale Fire Company dedicated Engine 2 to Barry, and there's a bench to honor him as well. In Milford, an upgrade for the Food Bank of Delaware is happening today. The organization will introduce a new food digester. That new equipment can remove up to 500 pounds of food from a wasteland facility each day. The food digester uses natural process to break down food waste. And according to the Food Bank of Delaware, since being installed, the food bank has redirected almost 6,000 pounds of food from a landfill. More emergency services in Sussex County. Today, Millsboro will hold a grand opening for the Sussex County Emergency Medical Services Station 103. The new location sits at Dickerson Road, and officials say that ceremony will be followed by a lunch, and people can attend that event today at 11 a.m. New overnight, one person is dead and 6 are injured after a shooting at a historically black university on the North Carolina coast. Elizabeth City State University says the person who died was a 24-year-old man who is not a student, but it says 3 of the gunshot victims attend the school, along with 2 others hurt in that commotion. The school says none of those injuries are life-threatening, and it says the shooting took place at the center of campus early in the morning.
I had left right before all of this had transpired, but I had heard the gunshots from my dorm, and then I had got a phone call saying that some people had got shot.
We're a family. It's a small school, small HBCU, so everybody knows everybody. It's a small family, so just make sure your family's okay.
And the university says it had just finished a multi-day celebration involving both alumni and students called Viking Fest. And we have a lot more news to get to this morning on Coast TV News Today. Don't go anywhere. Coming up, a Milton Deal Dilemma. We'll tell you what steps the town needs to complete first before it can go through with a proposed land purchase. Also, ID deadline approaching. We'll tell you what you need to know before a national initiative takes place. And we'll tell you what could be decided about the future of this vacant building in Lewis. Stay with us on Coast TV News Today.
.39 on a sunny but chilly Monday morning. Tyndall's Casual Furniture Cam showing the blue skies, 40 degrees in Laurel. We've seen several locations, inland areas, dipping into the upper 30s. So it is a cold start, 30s and low 40s inland, but 40s and 50s at the coast right now. A little milder there, a little bit of a breeze. Thankfully, not a strong wind, or we'd be talking about wind chills, but we just have clear skies, light winds as high pressure is building in. Besides the chill, it's a gorgeous morning, but make sure you bundle up. We have high pressure building in, and that will ensure wall-to-wall sunshine today with a nice warm-up. Today's checklist, you definitely need the heavy jacket out the door this morning. Don't need the umbrella, but you need to warm up the car, bundle up the kids as they're headed back to school. Make sure you have the sunscreen too. That sun is getting higher in the sky. Warm beverage is a must this morning, and the sunglasses too. We'll see a lot of sunshine today. So Kevin Brochette in Millsboro doesn't need an umbrella today, but he's winning one courtesy of Paul Davis Restoration and Home Remodeling and Coast TV.
To demolish or to renovate, that is the debate about the Army Reserve building on Savannah Road in Lewis right now. And today officials will present an update on that issue. The vacant building will be for the City of Lewis, the Board of Public Works, and the Police Department. Lewis committed to buying that building back in 2022 with the idea of having more space for the city and BPW's growing staff. Some locals say they are ready for a fresh start.
Well, I would rather see it demolished and something more familiar with the territory. Historic Lewis, maybe a little more pleasant looking. What's there right now really doesn't say much.
And the BPW says they are creating a subcommittee with the city to further discuss the future of that building. That project will be funded by the city and the BPW. Today's meeting takes place at 1 p.m. And the deadline to get your real ID is quickly approaching. Starting May 7th, we'll all need one to fly domestically. The Delaware Department of Transportation and the Division of Motor Vehicles are urging people to check their real ID status. For those who do not make that May 7th deadline, a passport or global entry will still get you on board a flight. You can still get a real ID after May 7th at the DMV. And Rehoboth Beach is starting its annual spring bulk pickup service today. During this time, residential property owners may discard furniture, certain appliances, e-waste, and other large bulky items free of charge. This year's spring bulk pickup is scheduled for today through May 2nd on the south side of the city and May 5th through 9th on the north side. City crews will pick up items daily throughout the work week in those designated areas. And coming up tonight on DSN, your game of the night at 5:30, Indian River hosts Pandua Academy and girls soccer. Then at 10:30, it's the final score. And for your DSN Plus exclusives, along with that game of the night, at 4 p.m., it's a lacrosse double feature. That is Worcester Prep and Salisbury School girls and Worcester Prep and Sussex Academy boys. Then at 5:30, Caesar Rodney faces Queen Anne's in boys lacrosse. And Cape Henlopen is at home with North Carolina in girls lacrosse. Today in entertainment news, a clue about the final film in a possible trilogy and a way to go inside your favorite movies. Here's David Daniel with your Hollywood Minute.
You know, the little amortization book and the green eye shade, the dorky pocket protector, and...
I have a pocket protector.
That's a nice one.
Anna Kendrick's Dana and Ben Affleck's Chris connected, eventually, in 2016's The Accountant. But Kendrick and her character did not return for the recent sequel. However, director Gavin O'Connor says he's long planned an accountant trilogy. And he tells the New York Times he's been texting with Kendrick, and she said she's 100% in if we want.
Here's the band. Good evening again. This is Mark and the Starlighters, and we're going to make this a night to remember. So let's get started!
Universal Fan Fest nights at Universal Studios Hollywood lets fans immerse themselves in their favorite films and franchises. Opening night brought Back to the Future co-writer Bob Gale back to the Enchantment Under the Sea dance.
It's amazing, and it's just amazing to see the people reacting the way that they are. They're having the best time. It's the closest anybody can get to actually being in the movie.
In Hill Valley, just north of Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
If you're having a rough week, you can cheer up with a weekly dose of local good news from CoastTV with personal features, fun things to do each weekend, and more. You can sign up right now for free at coasttv.com and get your weekly dose of joy directly to your inbox on Friday. And here's a look at what's coming up this afternoon on Coast Life at 4.
We know that Mondays can be rough, but they're always sunny here on Coast Life. Let's see what's coming up today on the show. If you are in the market for a new Ford and you don't work at Preston, don't worry. You can still get employee pricing. We'll tell you how.
Plus, we're going to be looking at the Kentucky Derby. There's a couple of events going on in the area that you could take part in, and you're just not going to want to miss what we have with all this horsing around.
And all that fun and more is coming up today at 4 on Coast Life. We'll see you there.
And weather-wise, it's a cold start out the door. 30s and 40s, 44 in Ocean View right now on the gutter helmet camera. But after a cold start, we're going to warm it up with abundant sunshine today. A warmer week ahead for Delmarva. Some rain possible as we go through the week. Nothing really all that significant. I'll have your forecast details in 2 minutes. Stay tuned.
The time is now 6:47, and we are taking a live look outside at Laurel this morning. On this Monday morning, it's always good to see that sun shining, Bob. You can wake up with the sun, hopefully warm it up outside, because I was startled by the cold this morning.
You are not alone, Elisa. I looked at my thermometer coming in. It was like low 40s, and now we've got upper 30s, but it's great to see the sunshine. That will warm us up quickly, but we're starting out really chilly, and it's back to school for a lot of kids in Sussex County. So, crack the books, kids. Back to school. Make sure you bundle up. A mild Monday, sensational wall-to-wall sunshine. We are going to warm into the mid-70s, but cooler at the beaches. And then we move into the midweek time period. It's warm. We're talking summer-like warmth with upper 70s and low 80s, but I think we'll see more clouds at that time and maybe a few showers. But look at these temperatures. More like March instead of the end of April with upper 30s and low 40s, 37 in Harrington and Redden, 39 in Millsboro. The sun is up now, so this is where we're going to bottom out in the upper 30s and lower 40s, and we're going to begin the warm-up process. We're in the 50s at the beaches, 56 in Lewis, 52 in Rehoboth, as we have a very light southwest wind, but for the most part, it is calm, and we're looking at, well, clear skies. You can see kind of a white look to the satellite picture, indicating that cold air reflecting back to space, but it'll quickly warm up. That's the function of dry air as high pressure is building in. Just some clouds across the Great Lakes. Otherwise, clear skies all across the East Coast. The only real trouble spot is well across the northern plains into the upper Midwest. They're looking at low pressure, the potential of severe weather, maybe maybe even tornadoes as we go through the day across Minnesota and Wisconsin. But no worries for us as far as severe weather. It's clear, and it's a quick warm up this morning, mid-morning already into the mid to upper 50s to around 60 degrees. And then by noon, really nice upper 60s away from the beaches. But at the coast, you're in the 50s and 60s. This afternoon, I think we'll see a sea breeze developing. So I think you can warm into the 60s and then actually fall back into the 50s there as that easterly wind kicks in. But then that sea breeze kind of conks out near 113, so low 70s around Millsboro, Delmarva, and Salisbury as well. As we're looking at clear skies this evening, and then under clear skies, temperatures cool off again tonight, but not nearly as cold as this morning, with mid to upper 40s inland and low to mid 50s at the beaches. And then we're looking at warmer conditions moving into Tuesday into the mid to upper 70s. And you see these arrows changing color, indicating the breezes picking up at the beaches as well. And that southwest breeze keeps us mild into Wednesday morning. Maybe a few showers before the rush hour in the morning hours. Otherwise, we're looking at mild conditions again. And look at this, warm, lower 80s away from the coast. Nice taste of summer moving into Wednesday as we see that sea breeze kicking in today, and that will cool you off at the coast. Then everybody's starting to warm up with a southwesterly wind, at times gusting over 25 miles per hour. And we will be warming up ahead of a cold front, really mild and gorgeous into the midweek time period, feeling like summer. Paul Davis 7-day forecast, mid-70s today. Another chilly start tomorrow morning, near 80 on Tuesday, mostly sunny. I think we're in the low 80s Wednesday, cooler Thursday, then back into the 80s on Friday with some showers, and then cooler with showers into Saturday, 75, and then 69, even cooler by next Sunday, and mostly sunny.
Thank you, Bob. Milton town officials are considering buying several lots downtown. Before this, they will need to follow a due diligence process in order to make that purchase. Tonight, Milton officials will get an update on this for the 6 lots they are looking to buy. The cost of that land is $1.65 million. Right now, a survey, a typograph mapping, and soil testing are still underway. One idea for the area is a 26,000 square foot building, which would include a new police station, a dedicated meeting space for the town, and a workspace for council members.
It's a building to meet the needs of the people that operate the town on a day-to-day basis. And therefore, they should have a significant amount of input on the configuration of it.
And the final presentation, which includes the site plan and soil analysis, will be presented at tonight's meeting at 6:30. And the time is now 6:51, and we're going to check in with our coastal pet of the day. And today's coastal pet of the day is ready to hit the dance floor. On your screen right now is Benny. As you can see, he is all dressed up and ready to take a lucky lady to prom. The Stafford dog was submitted to us by Tammy in Seaford, and we want to see more of your pets on Delmarva. Send us photos and tell us what makes them so special. You can take a look at your screen and scan that QR code at the top of your screen to submit your furry friend to CoastTV News. Then watch weekdays from 5 to 7 a.m. to see all of the pets we feature. The time is now 6:54, and here are the things you need to know before you go. Happening today, an upgrade for the Food Bank of Delaware in Milford. The organization will introduce a new food digester. The new equipment can remove up to 500 pounds of food from waste landfill each day. That food digester uses a natural process to break down food waste. And according to the Food Bank of Delaware, since being installed, the food bank has redirected almost 6,000 pounds of food from a landfill. And the deadline to get your real ID is quickly approaching. Starting May 7th, we'll all need one to fly domestically. The Delaware Department of Transportation and the Division of Motor Vehicles are urging people to check their real ID status. For those who do not make that May 7th deadline, a passport or global entry will still get you on board a flight. And you can still get a real ID after May 7th at the DMV. And the time is now 6:55. So we're going to bring in First Alert Meteorologist Bob Trahey to go over our kind of up and down Monday forecast. Cool right now. You say it's going to be beautiful later.
Yeah, it really is up and down, isn't it, Elisa? It's that time of year where it's chilly in the morning. You have to wear your jacket. I had the puffy jacket out this morning. And then by this afternoon, you can have the lighter clothes on because we're going to be warming up into the 70s, kind of the function of dry air. But out the door, it is chilly. We're looking at temperatures in the 30s and low 40s. Make sure the kiddos are bundled up off to school as everybody is back to school now. And then we're slowly warming through the 40s. And then all of a sudden, we're into the 60s later this morning, and then 70s this afternoon. Winds will be light and variable. I think inland areas, you're in the mid-70s, around 74, but cooler at the coast. Here's your Paul Davis 10-day forecast. We have one more really chilly morning as we go into Tuesday morning, 47, and then it's a big warm-up for Tuesday, mostly sunny, 79 degrees, and then here comes a taste of summer by Wednesday with lower 80s. We do cool it off a little bit into Wednesday, and in that time period, maybe a few showers too. Mid-70s Thursday, and then back into the 80s on Friday with some scattered showers. The weekend could start a little wet with temperatures into the mid-70s, and then another cool down. We're down into the 40s again by Sunday morning with a high of 69 on Sunday. Still chilly into next Monday morning, and then it looks pretty quiet as we go into the early to middle part of next week with highs into the low to mid-70s and overnight lows into the 50s. So it would be nice to see a little more rain in that 10-day forecast, but it just looks like a little bit the next several days.
Thank you, Bob. And thank you for joining us here for Coast TV News today. The Today Show is coming up next at 7 a.m. and then we'll be back for Coast TV News midday at 11. And for even more news and coverage you can count on, download our Coast TV News and weather apps. Have a great Monday morning.